sure everything's set up correctly here. Hooray, more goblins. That's right. How did I... There we go. That's the angle I want. No, today we are going to be doing mini grids. Hey, tabletop date night. It is going good. If I wasn't currently fighting with my printer, I would have done some bugs, but I somehow was able to cup the build plate on my resin printer, so I had to order a new print head. So even my next army isn't even done printing yet. The pig orc black orcs have just kind of they've been stalled. So how's everybody doing tonight? How'd you manage that? I put thousands of models through it, so I couldn't tell you how I managed to do that. So tonight we have some Goblin Death Walkers, and the only thing I've done to him so far is I've hit him with some broadsword silver, because as I smack my light, I don't think it would make for good entertainment if it was just me doing silver for a half an hour. So, quite literally just got done with that. So we're going to let these set for a second. While we are doing that, we could take a look at... Okay, where am I going to set this thing? Set this camera about there. As my ring light is now falling on my face. So I guess we can move on to... We can move on to the flamethrower section. No, I don't need to get a new printer. I just need to get a new head for the printer. The plate that goes up into the resin, somehow it went from being flat to bowed like this. It's just But like I said, that's what happens when you put thousands of models through the thing, and I like saying that I treat my equipment like it's an old, like, Soviet factory equipment. And so I beat the shit out of it. Yeah, I didn't know that was possible either, but that's the only... After trying to level this thing for, like, 2 days, well, actually, probably like a week, I was trying to get this thing to level out. I would still only get half the build plate. And finally, I was like, wait a minute. I took my square out of my truck, and I was like... Let me just look at this, and holy crap, it is bowed. How did I pull that off? So I ordered that this morning. Right. All right, we're gonna do copper on here. So what are we talking about today, guys? What we got going on as my furnace kicks on in the background? So Saturn was protesting its unfair workload. Yeah, it's on. It was on strike. That's gonna need another coat at least. Okay, we'll put that back. Put you there. Yeah, I have been so busy. I don't even know what has been going on in the world of miniature wargaming this last week. I did not think it was possible to dent 3 1-inch welded steel plates of an X-ray source, but I've seen it done. Well, a couple weeks ago, I didn't think it was possible for a 1.5-inch steel rod that was holding up the snowplow on my truck to just shear in half. driving along in the snowplow, and all of a sudden I was like, where'd my headlight go up there? Wait a minute, why is everything all cockeyed? I like how some of these are like carrying the gun on their sides, and then some of them have them stuck in the face. True scrapper mentality. Gun fit there. That's where gun go. But here, let me show you what. Let me show you how those tanks turned out that we worked on last week. Okay, here's the one. Here's the leader. Bang! I still haven't hit them with the full all-over wash yet. But, ta-da! That's what we got going on there with those. Rusted and busted. I love it. And then, for the actual goblins themselves, boop. And the lighting's not great, but here we go. Let's see. That explains the disorganization of the gobos. They're deaf. And somehow the gun face on these stills make more sense than the Gatling gun on the Primaris Space Marine vehicles. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I've been seeing a lot of trailers. I think they're trailers. I think for the new Dawn of War, and I don't think the Space Marines look any good in those trailers. Sounds really weird to say it, but they all look like they took the models out of what's that stupid click game, the Tacticus, and they're using those for Dawn of War. They all look squat and just thick. I had to do a double take on it. I was like, is this a... I was wondering, like, is this a fan video? Did somebody else make this? Brother, I cannot turn the gun left or it'll shoot through our own antenna. See, I look at some models and I think, oh, it's cool. And other models I look at and say, no one would make it like that. Yeah. Yeah. Howdy, still neat. Yeah, like I didn't expect the Space Marine unit that came out with had the Nerf guns, but you know, here we are. Right, next, we're going to do some rust. That's the main reason why I did everything in the broadsword silver. It was just so I could start off doing some rust, because that takes a minute to kind of set up. I'll go as a goblining. My goblins are a goblining. I am almost out of this too. Yeah. Alright, we're going to be using some Dirty Down, probably the last of the Dirty Down that I have. But look at the top there. That's what it's going to do when it dries. Oh wait, shit, I got more in here than I thought I did. So we do that. Be Trainaholic. Then we put some water in to activate her. there we get to slopping. Where's the brush I want to use for this? There we go. I'll use that one. And this guy. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see how, like, puddingy this turns into when you add the water to it. Oh no! Ah! There we go. Hold on, my my whole swing arm came out of the hole. There we go. So hit the thumbs up. Yes, remember to like the video. It's thicker in some spots here. Hey boss, I wanted to ask you what you think of the new John Blanche Army Painter set that is coming out soon. I think it would look cool if you use the warm set to paint wood elves. Yeah? Yeah, I just... I did see that release, and I'm like, I just got the last two sets, like, a month ago. But yeah, those look really cool. I'm surprised that there was blue in there, because after reading a couple of Blanche's books, it's like he hates the color blue. Or I wouldn't say hate the color blue, but he does not. It's not his default coloring. Slap it on the rust pudding. I love how every time I open this up, I forget how much it stinks. Not a Gilliman fan. Well, if you look at look at the art that he did way back in the day, there's a lot of reds, a lot of warm colors, nearly no blues in them. That was just his style. What is it? What does this smell? It smells like... There's a certain kind of like wood stain that this smells like. It'd be hilarious if I can figure out what the chemical components of this are just from the stink. Zorn! Oh, and it's going quiet up here again. And that's a piece of cloth, but I can go around it. All right, there's one. I'm not looking at the chat exclusively right now because this does take, I'm using so much of it at once, this does take some speed. So warbossfitz, how's work been of late? Ooh, I guess I could tell some. I don't really have many crazy stories. Again, I'll look at the chat in just a second. Once I blast through this, I might need to make more of the slop here. I can talk for a second about work. I finally got like You guys ever have one of those work projects that just seems to drag on forever? Well, I had one of those that's been dragging on for 4 or 5 months now. I finally got that done on Friday. I was so happy about that. One of these units, I stayed extra late just so I could get it done on Friday. Oh no, I have touched my thing. Oh, we got a little goblin face coming out there. We don't want to rust the face. There we go. Swish, 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 swish. Yeah, I had an apartment that was basically basically a crack house, and just waiting on parts and vendors and all kinds of stuff. I finally was able to get it done. Off my board. It's real funny too when you got people that haven't been doing this as long as I have and don't know what they're looking at. Hey Dan, what's this? As they pick up a very long, slender glass pipe that has steel wool on one end of it. I'm like, put that down. Don't touch weird stuff. Yeah, keep your fingerprints off of it. Okay. Hey, Pulsefire Gaming giving us a super chat, $1.99. Bam! That's right. Got my little rusty dudes. Walk around their nuclear reactors. At least they don't eat strange goo from the floor of an abandoned factory for a dare. Yeah. Yeah, that's how you end up with like patient zero, man. Oh, I missed that part. I'll get that first in a second. What did that say? We're trying to get a ton of Station Forge listings up now. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, come on. We're so close. I don't want to open any more of this. It freaking reeks. Oh, one more arm. Right, is that back foot? Okay. This just smells so bad. All right, we'll let these sit here. I'll use some of that in a bit. So what was the order? It was that one, this one, and this one is where we started at. You can already see some of the rust kind of becoming all rusty. Okay, so let's go back up here. Have you and your printer come to an agreement on what level is? No, we didn't. I was talking about that a minute ago. I actually cupped the build plate on the printer, so I had to order a new one. Somehow. Don't ask me how. Apparently, I'm real abusive to it. Zorn, it's Zorn. What kind of wood grain that smells kind of like grain alcohol? The kind of wood grain that smells like grain alcohol. Yeah, yeah, wood stain. Yeah, I don't. It. I have like a vague memory of this smell from my youth. That they it's probably one of the big active components in this. But of course, they're not gonna put what it's actually made of. No smoking yet, because it's freaking reactive. Made in Dorset, UK. Okay, whatever. Yeah, like I said, I have some weird smell memory of that. Polyacrylic based, maybe. So, warbossfitz, how's the work been of late? Any customers calling you for locking themselves out again? No, we put an end to that. Don't call me, call a locksmith, because the amount of people that, you know, I just left my keys in my cousin's car. Well, tell your cousin to turn around. I've been spending a couple days fixing my new FDM printer. Yes. Keep your fingerprints off the evidence. Exactly. And that's another thing. I am working on a deal right now with Corvus Corvus War Game Train, to be another sponsor where I'll have like an affiliate code for him to get some discounts on his stuff. That I have to fire up my FDM printer again, and then of course there's Pulsefire Gaming working at PrintedStarships.com for all of your space needs, and apparently Station Forge soon. I once found a Ouija board in a crack house. I threw it away immediately because it's not going to have anybody try to contact crack house ghosts. Yeah, yeah, those wouldn't be the best. My aunt was a teacher, dear Lord. Why would someone be a teacher after hearing her stories? Listen, there's a lot of professions that it's like people go, why do you still do it? People ask me too, why do you still do what you do? It's like, I don't know, masochism. It's like at the end of the day, I'll feel like I occasionally help somebody, and that keeps me coming back. Okay, cape time here. You excited about the Alien Hives lore book? Yeah, yeah, I'm excited about the Alien Hives lore book. Um, Excited about the lore expansion with them. You know, in my mind, the alien hives are all eco terrorists, so I don't know how uh, accurate that is to the actual one-page rules lore. It pays good just enough to keep us there. Cup the bill plate. Yeah, yeah. After I fought with it for a week to try to get it level, um, I finally put a speed square on it, which is like, oh my god, what did I do? And then all of a sudden, flashbacks to me beating this thing like a, I don't even know. I just beat the hell out of my machines, and I was like, yeah, I could see it. I did that. My bad. And then I thought, ooh, I have another printer in the garage. I have a local friend of mine that bought a new printer and gave me his old one. I'm like, it was a Saturn, but it was the wrong kind of Saturn build plate. So I had to order a new one. It was only $35. As far as parts go, that's that's the cheapest part I've had to order for stuff today. So that's fine. I did have a lady over the weekend call and say that her toilets were stopped up. I went over there and it was coming up in her bathtub. So immediately I'm like, okay, so you've got a clog at the T junction. And I went at it with a plunger for like an hour. because of course she called me at 10 o'clock at night or 10:30 at night. It was now 11:30 on Friday night, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get a plumber out here. So after fighting it for a few hours, I was like, we're gonna give up and call a plumber in the morning. And what was I up? Oh, that's the night I recorded the Goblin armor review. Yeah, I recorded that Friday night for Saturday release. I'm not a busy beaver. So that I was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I woke up at 11:30, called the plumber, and they're like, we'll be there in an hour. Oh my God. So I had to scramble to get there. And then he fought it for an hour, so I didn't feel so bad. But finally, it was entirely caked up with baby wipes. And of course, I don't use baby wipes. I'm like, well, I bet you do. There's one joke I make. You can't hide anything from the maintenance men or the plumbers because we will eventually find it and we'll make fun of you for it. There we go. Now that it's drying, you can see how much that rust is just settling in there. This stuff is just amazing. Just amazing. I love it. A personal fatberg. Are the Goblin Walkers the equivalent of killer cans? Yes. Yes, they are. They come in squads of 3. And you can do some fun stuff with them. Like what I'm doing with this squad in the army. There's 3 of them. Well, there's going to be 4 of them. There's 3 of them in a hero, all armed with heavy flamers. And the hero has an aura that lets lets the squad move their max distance and still shoot. So these guys are going to be able to go 12 inches and still fire all their guns. And that will be hilarious. Very mobile fire support out of these buggers. Finished printing the zombie horde yesterday. Awesome. Awesome. I do love me some zombies. You know, the way I pick which army I'm going to do next, it's kind of vibes. to sound really weird, it's just kind of vibes. And right now I'm doing the the fantasy orcs next. But then after that, I'm open. I haven't chose anything to do after that. So give me some suggestions. Which armies do you guys want to see next? Or next in the next couple weeks? Vibes are how I pick what armies I want to try. Yeah, it's OPR is great because you could just kind of everything is okay. Everything's not perfectly balanced, but everything's mostly balanced. And it just all depends on your play style and letting the dice tell the story. And lately, well, at least this week, the dice told the story of how warbossfitz got swamped underneath some human empire. The Dredge Plague Marines. Well, I'm waiting on the plague stuff because there's somebody that I'm waiting for them to come back in town to have a guest star on that episode. Because he is a whole lot more into the plague stuff than I am. Yes, what Matt's scared. Well, Scott, you're the one I'm waiting to get back in town to do it. Tron themed Dow. I mean, Dow could be an option. Let's see if they're still as evil as they thought when we were getting out of the beta. Okay, let's do cabling. Yeah, let's do cabling. Where'd my little one go? There it is. Need to print more GDF armies for my channel? Yes, yes, yes. Come to the dark side. Well, I'm also might be getting a thing from Army Builder too, or not Army Builder, Army Painter. Because all gloss black with neon lights, with neon bright, that'd be cool. Because I woke up to an email this morning at 5 a.m. of Army Painter asking me if I got the package. I'm like, what package? What are we talking about, guys? So we shall see what happens there. I don't know if I'm not supposed to talk about it, but they didn't say not to talk about it, so here we are. Wait, I have the whole thing here. About time Army Painter took care of me. Yeah, listen, I'm not going to say that I deserve anything from anybody. I'm just happy whenever they decide to, you know, swing a little something my direction. Okay. Well, we shall see. You may not say it, but I will. Listen, as far in my head, man, I'm just a little YouTube channel. I just come on here and fart on the internet. Your war god fits. Don't start that. This is why we respect you. You're a fan like us, and you don't act like you're some big deal. The reason you have fans is because you understand what it's like, what we like as fellow hobbyists. Yeah, I mean, good lord, guys. And a part-time math hole, yes. Yeah, it's like like I said, I still don't feel like I'm anything different. Like, this is just how I would do things before. It's just now I record them and put them on the internet. And I'm just happy you guys are hanging out with me. Oh yeah, I guess these should be... I don't know if these should be black, but they're going to be black. Because even the rustiest of hoses There's still that polybutylene black. I probably said that wrong. But you know what I'm talking about. How do you feel about orcs since the split goblins? Since they split goblins from the faction? I mean, I'm always gonna love orcs. Even the OPR more the OPR orcs are more put together than brutal. But as far as game mechanics go, like in the beginning when they first split them, I was like, I don't know if the goblins have enough to actually be an army on their own. But then OPR decided to put a whole lot more goblins in there, and as far as the armies standing apart from each other, they work perfectly fine. Was that wet? Quite honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Oh, there's black paint everywhere. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay. We're rusted. We don't care. It's just more. It's just more texture. Yeah, like in the beginning when they split them off, there was only like 5 goblin units. Now there are tons of them, and I have some fun ones that I'm putting into this army. Other than the other than the bug ones, the other ones I was happy for were freaks. Like I said, these haven't got their marine juice yet, but I got a unit of 20 freaks. Blah blah blah. I mean, what's better than nuclear fallout goblins? Whoever came up with the basis for that is a genius. Huffies, yeah. The AOF orcs have me hyped. Yes, I think the concept art that we've seen for the AOF orcs, I feel like their orc designs are just a whole lot better than they are for Grimdark Future. But, still love me orcs. Simple as. Okay. Remember the reason people got upset was because originally the goblin units had shooty and folks hated that orcs lost that, and they just gave folks a way to get shooty orcs. Yeah. 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 Well, it's like every time they focus on an army, they always come out with more stuff for that army. And so when they did the split and they said the orcs were coming, I was like, okay, so this means the orcs are going to get more stuff. It's just, where is it going to be? And I did not see some of the options that they were thinking. They did the Berserker orcs, which are the analog for the... God, what are they called in 40k? Why am I drawing a blank? Beast stabbers? Beast snaggers? Snaggletooth orcs? Whatever. That orc version. God, that's gonna drive me crazy. I forgot what the freak that's called. There we go. Boop. Yeah, probably 2 drops. Boop boop. The beast snaggers. There we go. That's terrible. I forgot what those were called. So yeah, the Berserkers were the OPR version of those. And those were a welcome change. Especially because they were just straight busted. At least a little bit. Alright, I'm going through and I'm finding pistons. And I'm doing the collar rings where it would constantly wear. So it's a spot where it would not rust. It's one of those weird real world things that most people wouldn't care about, but I'm like, I know, I've seen rusty pistons. The collet ring never rusts because they're always being used. And I just realized this guy has opposing pistons in his arms. And I think I didn't notice that before, and I really like that. Not much, but we're going to go through and we're going to do a quick spongeing pretty soon. Just to break up the rustiness. Ooh, that's thick. I like it. Missed the beginning of the feed. What is the color uber the rust? The color that made the for the rust? That is this stuff. Dirty down rust, and then under the rust it is broadsword silver. There. Under, yes, it's broadsword silver. There's just a few spots where that's poking through. Okay. All right, this next step, we probably should have done this before I went in with everything else, but you know me. I don't think. I don't think. I just do. We're going to go in with some gunmetal. And we're going to do some dry brushing. And we're talking not much. So where's my... There we go. My tiny-ish makeup brush. Love all my made-up words. My tiny-ish. We're not going to do like a full dry brush. It's more like a drag just to get the top bits of it. Oh, you know what? Here. Oh, damn it. I pulled the thing out again. I'm bad at that. Let's give you guys a better angle of what I am trying to do here. This way it takes some of the raised edges that would just naturally get beat up with rust. In the Vampire Hunter D series, the vampires moved a giant gothic orbital stations. How about a GDF Vampiric Undead? Replace bows with rifles, horses with robots, and vehicles as smooth metal. More like Art Deco. I love it when someone throws a art style out that you don't see much. I think that would be kind of cool. Space vampires. Space vampires. You know, at the beginning of you saying that, I was like, meh, vampires. But now you're like Art Deco space vampires. I'm like, ooh. Ooh. This might have to go on a... I might have to pin that to a board. and be like, I'm gonna work on this one day. There we go. There we go. So that adds a whole lot more depth to that. Like it. Every time I think of Art Deco, I just, for some reason, my mind goes into like old, like airlines ads. And, it's definitely an aesthetic that I like. Art Deco equals streamliners. Yeah. I can see it now. I'll be sitting there with Tano at Adepticon, be like, I have an idea. Art Deco space vampires. And he's going to look at me like I'm ridiculous. Fritz, why don't you play Heresy? I never got into Heresy. Just like everything else I ever tried to get into, the local play group kind of just poo pooed it. So when I was trying to get into Heresy, like I had a Mechanicus army, like when they got released for Heresy back in Heresy 1. And I never got a single game of Heresy with them. I still got some parts of it out in the garage. It just a bit thick on this one. Not for lack of me trying to find opponents, just nobody at the time really cared. And then by the time everyone else got into Heresy, I was just, I had already, I don't know, the ship had sailed for me on that. Seems to happen a lot. This Heresy I was into and then got out of, and then everyone else got into, and then was it Firestorm Armada I got into. I bought a crap ton of stuff, and no one played it with me, and then I quit playing. I kind of gave up on that idea, and then everyone started playing Firestorm Armada. Just bad luck. That in the day when I decided that I was going to walk away from 40K, it was like I was going to walk away from all GW products, and with Heresy still a GW product, so I just kind of stopped thinking about that. Ooh, I am far behind here. Um, what's the final verdict on what? If we're doing space vamps, there has to be a naked Matilda May, and if you know that reference, bonus points to you. I don't know. I don't know that reference off the top of my head. Marine juice versus oil wash. Marine juice. Marine juice, just because it dries faster. I don't have to undercoat the models with any gloss coat to get it to run better. So definitely marine juice. Get back into it. Sure. What faction do you want to be in OPR from another game, or just have a homebrew faction but just never had the time to make rules for them? Just ahead of your time. Yes. Um, I don't know. I've made rules for all kinds of stuff now. I would want it be in my head. It'd be cool if there was like, not really. Okay, I'm thinking like elementals and stuff from BattleTech, like infantry, elementals, tank forces, and like the occasional battle mech being in an army for OPR. I think that would be cool, but I don't. In my mind, that's something we could do now, just by allying different armies together. Dryer brush. As far as like models go, I kind of wish there was well, I mean, there already is. You all make me think about stuff too hard. This is my unwinding time. Oh, yeah, see, I love a couple of different like this. The styles that I love is I love diesel punk. And I mean, there's quite a few armies in OPR that can be classified as that has a diesel punk look to them, but not 100%. I like the Art Deco look, which is weirdly one of the main reasons why I got into one of the main reasons why I got into the Mechanicus when I first wanted to get into Heresy is because a lot of their vehicles, like the big land trains they had a very Art Deco look, and that I saw that and I was like, you know what, I like it, and I wanted to run that. And then of course I spent $3,000 in Forge World Resident, never got one game. So that's what happens when warbossfitz wants something. I could see Shadow Stalkers in Grimdark Future, Forbidden Planet, or Dark Nebula Trap Ship. Yeah. Having the Shadow Stalkers in there would be interesting. Or it'd even be cool if they were just creatures of like Nightmare that just work their way into reality. Kind of like the way demons are in 40K, because the demons in Grimdark Future are not the same way. But if like you had the Shadow Stalkers that would come out of somebody as they experienced waking nightmares or something. That'd be cool. I like the idea of space chaos dwarves. Well, I mean, everybody likes space chaos dwarves. I like chaos dwarves so much. I think they're the biggest army I have outside Printed. Out of the garage. Problem is, I suck with them. I would like to see infected colonies be more like techno zombies. Yeah, well, when they get around to them, because what we're using now for the infected colonies is just kind of like other people's ideas of sci-fi zombies. So techno zombies would be a cool concept. Okay, what do we want to do next with these? I love how I put that over there like I'm not going to keep painting. Yes, I'm going to keep painting. What the hell? I gotta finish these guns. In my opinion, dwarves need mechs. Well, they have the mech walkers, or the dwarf walkers, even though they're I don't know. I don't really like the Dwarf Walkers models. To me, they look too big for what the rules are supposed to be for them. Kind of like the Expanse, where the zombies are an advanced tech taking over the body and infecting others. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, stop running through my head. Are you all dumping the zombie because I'm doing the lore videos now? I was just looking at what I wanted to do with this. I completely forgot. I have to do something with that. Okay, those can be copper. Drainaholic ran that in D&D. Scarecrow Horde run by witches and a farm-themed army, a farm harvest-themed army. Oh, there's one. The Rise of the Necromancer. That's an army that I have the files for. Every time I look at it, I go, oh god, I don't have time to do this because it's so silly. I really hope OPR does the Biopunk Wood Elves for Grimdark Future. I think that could go hard. Yeah, who is, are we talking like an established army for Grimdark Future? Like in that case, who would the Wood Elves be? Or would this just be a new concept of like, we're moving the Wood Elves into Grimdark Future and we're going to use these as a... Nope. Damn it. I love how I go to put paint on it. I just immediately kill over. And the tech is left over from a dead species and just wants to continue as its objective, even if it means wiping out other species. Yes. That is a cool concept. There is something to be said that I'm going to go out on a limb here. I am going to, once I get done with the OPR lore, like the established OPR lore, I'm going to start putting stuff up for lore-wise that is hopefully going to put the grim and the dark back into Grimdark Future. Because that was one of the main draws that got me into 40k. This is going to sound really terrible, but I like the hopelessness of it. And I feel like in OPR they don't want to go down the really dark route, but I like going down the really dark route. So I think I'll be doing some stuff with that. Space ogres. And I gotta do the tanks too. Okay, we'll do the tanks. I love how I'm just kind of jumping everywhere on this. Well, I'll do the tanks. Who was this? I haven't used this yet. That's kind of like what my torch looks like when it's rusted all to hell. So let's use some blanched berry on this. Rant about how terrible 40k 10th is. Dude, I don't care anymore. I mean, I could, but let's look at some other stuff first. I called Fitz and over, and he looked at me really mad, like he scared me. Oh, you called me an ogre. Always loved 40k and fantasy because it felt hopeless, but there was hope for a better future. That's why I like the withering for wood elves. Ogre, hello, Mr. Wackley. Hello, Witherkin. Yep, infected colony, the planet of Dr. Moreau. Alright, this is going to sound real crazy, but I have not been paying much attention to 40k since I since I made that post where I was like, I don't care what happens in your game anymore, I'm out. But I do know from other friends of mine and seeing some posts on the internet, 11th edition is coming up. So I hope everybody who has got into 40k since the start of 10th edition knows that means a new rulebook is coming and new codexes. And if you don't have your codex yet, you're kind of screwed because it's going to come out and be replaced nearly immediately. So, yay, there's that. I'll send a super chat if you rant. I've seen. Okay, again, this again is from the outside looking in. I've seen that they have started releasing new detachments for 10th edition. Oh, and your models are obsolete. Absolutely, yes. Yes, yes. I wonder if the firstborn are going to be put in legends now. I can't wait for that to happen. I'll make a video being like, hey, all of you Space Marine players who had models that were legal from 1992 until 2026, come play OPR. We won't say your models are the wrong size. Good night, Print for Gaming. Yes, we don't care what basis your models are on, as long as if they fit, they sit. You don't need to have a 3-hour turn 1 in OPR. Did you ever feel like your tabletop war game is more like Magic the Gathering? Come to OPR, where we're an actual war game, where units do what they're supposed to do. That's one thing that really started turning me off from 8th edition all the way until I quit at the beginning of 10th was that 40k started feeling more like you're playing Magic, just with plastic models instead of cardboard. Where did my palette bone go? New video out tomorrow. Well, a couple hours. Well, awesome. Go check out Print for Gaming. He's got a couple videos up. He's just starting out with OPR. Thoughts on female custodians? I just look at them and laugh. Just going, okay, guys. This is what you all are in for. Really, where the fuck did the pallet bone go? There it is. And you know, if they need to sell more of a faction, just make them busted as hell. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, did you ever notice all the new stuff that comes out for 40k is always the strongest stuff ever? Like, remember when the Votan were getting released? I remember when the Votan were getting released. I was still playing 40k at the time. I had a 3D printer. We had the leaked rules. I started playing the Votan. Everyone says that I was an asshole. Sorry. Just playing by the rules, bro. Don't blame me. And then your codex came out, and James Workshop himself was going, we're sorry. We're sorry, your book is completely overpowered. We're sorry that what we sold you is obsolete before it even hit your hands. That's when I quit fucking Voltan. Not to mention charging $70+ for a single character model. Yeah, that is ridiculous. Like, I stepped away from 40k a while ago, and I'll tell this story where I had a spit take and nearly freaking choked myself. I was doing a video on the OPR giants, and I was just looking for the names of the 40k giants in fantasy, just to, like, keywords and stuff. So I found them on the website, and then I clicked on one, a single giant for $240. What are you? What? 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 And that was about the same time where I had that a video where I talked with Northern Exile about the future of 3D printing, and I was like, I will never again buy Games Workshop plastic because, oh man, this. I'll say it, this is retarded. Those models have tons of gaps, mold lines, and slippage. Yeah. Remember, man, I remember. Okay, this is gonna date me. I am so old. I was able to buy rhinos for Space Marines, two to a box for, I think it was two to a box for $10 back in second edition. I even remember when the RTB01 Marines came out, the first plastic Space Marines. They were what, like 20 Marines in a box for like 25 or $30, if even that. I don't really remember. I was like 14. Yeah. Yeah. The printer is totally justified. Shamrock Green. There we go. Who's got a face? You got a face. Get up here. Only one of them? Yeah, only one of them's got a little nose poking out. See, when I first started 3D printing, the printers were only like $200 because I had my first one was an Anycubic Photon. Wasn't even the mono; it was just the photon. And I don't think, yeah, it was like $200. And resin was $15 a kilo. And I love that we sell resin in kilos like we're buying drugs. And just wow, 30 man. There we go. Yeah, I bet you're right. It was 30. I remember getting the box and just like, oh my goodness, there's so many Marines in here. I mean, looking back, they weren't great, but I mean, they were great for what we had at the time. What else do we need here? What else do we need? Oh, the little leaf things. Ooh, excuse me. See, this is why I'm ranting now. You got me drinking. It's your fault. Oh, silver. No, green, black. What was I using for this? Moss green, I think. Oh, I got everything all. Oh, no, algae green. There it is. I can smell that bird. I know someone who worked at GWHQs in Baltimore with his discount they could buy by weight. He had 5,000 points of Black Templars, all imputed for $120. Yeah, back when GW used to be cool. Remember the unit that has always been, I don't know if it is now, but historically it was always the most expensive unit was the Vampiric Undead Blood Knights. I don't know why GW valued that unit so highly throughout the years. God, I wonder where they are now. But I remember back in like the 90s, that was $100 unit. Might be one of the reasons I didn't get into fantasy until it was too late. So I saw those and I was just like, everything's so expensive. Maybe you should start a 40K recovery stream on Tuesdays. Mark 6. Okay, my favorite armor mark is the Mark 4. I'll admit it. I like the Mark 4. I like the face masks. I even like the exposed cabling in the front. Yeah, no, there's a Mark 5 here. My Mr. I keep up here for scale. Whenever someone asks me how big someone is, I just whip him out. But yeah, I like the exposed cabling on the Mark IV. It's just, I just think it's neat. Blood Knights are $7, $8 for 5 now. Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, they've gone. You're wrong, Mark III. Okay, listen. Everyone's got their thing. Everyone's got their thing. I won't besmirch you for liking Mark III. The iron, that's the iron armor, right? That's the one with like the real thick armor. I remember Mark II. Was that the one you had to be bolted into, or was that Mark III? You had to be bolted into, and you couldn't move your head. You had like 1990s Batman neck. Let me rephrase this. Oh, he's rephrasing, guys. What is your favorite mark of armor and why is it Mark III? Oh, hmm. Mm, if I was to say that Mark III was my favorite armor, and if I had to come up with a fun reason why it was my favorite armor, I would have to say because it is very good at absorbing frontal attacks. Keep ranting. We hate the new Mark III. Oh, that's why y'all bitching about it. It's the new one. Oh yeah. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention. And female custodes are terrible. Yes, they absolutely are. Um, I'm in the camp with the female custodies. If they had a reason in the lore why it was possible, if they had come out with something that explained how that would work, I would be more willing to accept it than GW coming out and gaslighting the whole community, going, no, they always existed. Thank you for the $1.99. Dangerous Dungeons. God, if I did a 40K recovery stream. Hi, I'm warbossfitz, and I'm a recovering 40K player. Show me on the doll where GW touched you. Where's the red? I guess there's a couple more things I missed on there. This one, yes. We're gonna go ahead and do all the cloth bits red on these guys. Show me on the wallet. They touched me right in my back pocket. It was terrible. March down to Nottingham. James Workshop, you ruined my life. I spent so much money here, my wife left me and took the dog. Femstodes still make no sense, like female guardsmen make no sense. In a universe like 40k, females are a resource, a very precious resource that makes men to fight. Men are expendable, while women are not. See, that's the, I don't see it like that. In 40k, like female guardsmen, I can see female guardsmen. Just because the Imperial Tithe would take everything. Now, whether or not they get sorted into places as they come on, as they're taken from their planet, initially I think they wouldn't care. They would take men and women both. It's just curious that every time you watch a official piece of GW art or a video, it always seems to be the women that find themselves in power. It's just 80% of the time that's what happens. I don't understand that. But, I'm just a silly man, so what do I know, right? Yeah. So, like, in the Imperial Guard, that doesn't bother me whatsoever. But when the female Bretonnian knights started showing up in the lore, I was like, oh, okay. Okay, you've jumped the shark. You missed that, dog. When GW said they didn't need any more reciprocated sentiments, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat there. Well, I hung on for a little bit longer. I saw that and my eyes rolled so hard you could hear it. And then the online community for 40k just became fucking toxic. Worse than it already was. And I just walked away from it. And that was a big thing too about my YouTube channel. Let me I gotta hold on. I gotta go pee. I'll be right back. 2 minutes. Maybe less. Okay, I'm back. So, when my channel started, I feel like I definitely had a lot of bad blood towards GW. It kind of felt like there's this weird, like, level you get to when you first fall out of love with 40k. It feels like you caught you got. It feels like an abusive ex that you're finally able to get away from. You get away from them, and you're happy you got away from them, but of course all you want to do is shit talk about them. And then, that goes on for a while, and then, you start forgetting things that they did. And eventually, the anger that I had towards GW slowly subsided, and now it's at a state of, like, apathy. Like, I really don't care what happens in the Warhammer universe. It's hard to avoid it because, you know, you go online and you look for wargaming stuff, you're gonna find 40K stuff. And with the way that like my YouTube subscriptions are, I watch a lot of YouTube. With the way my YouTube subscriptions are, whenever GW does anything, I at least get to see a title of a YouTube video about it. So, like, there's that. And then, like, I watch Northern Exile because I like his Hobby Nightmares. And then I like it when he just, I like it when he just kind of like does a video where he talks about whatever, like anything else other than 40K. I like listening to those too. And of course, all of his stuff that he comes out with, like talking about the way he's looking at the world and the way the politics and stuff are, is he's kind of along my same wavelength. So I don't know, I listen to him to, I guess, mostly reaffirm myself in the way I'm thinking about things, going, okay, so I'm not crazy, cool. And then, you know, other than the VTuber crap, I'll listen to like Arch and his lore stuff. Like his breakdown of the Badab Wars, I love that. Actually seeing the GW moves and stuff that makes people rant. I roll my eyes so hard I give myself a colonoscopy. Congress has the same effect? Yeah. Yeah. I was going to make a video when they did the suing the 250 or 300 creators with their AI fucking selection. You have to put nuclear glowing green on their backs. Oh, we'll get there. Don't you worry. When they did that, I was going to make a video on it, but we were right in the middle of the beta for 3.5. And I was like, you know what? There's nothing I could do, nothing I could say that hasn't already been said. So I kind of let that one lay. Even with the Gamic stuff. Like, I was watching the Gamic stuff. When G-Man E got taken down by GW, I was on his side and like initially, but then I saw the models, like the full catalog. I'd seen some of his stuff, but I hadn't seen the full catalog, and I was just like, dude, you just ripped those straight out of Total War. I don't know what to tell you. So when the Gamic thing kicked off, I was like, I don't know about this. I kind of stayed out of it, and I haven't seen anything about the Gamic lawsuit in a minute. Does anyone know what's been going on with that? Anyone want to let an orc know what's going on? Last I saw was like his video number 2 on it, where they were trying to copyright him for an eagle. It's in court now? Okay. Okay, well, we'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. I'm expecting, so that's why it's quiet. That makes a lot of sense. I'm expecting another chapter house. Because for you guys who weren't around for chapter house, oh man, that was a thing. A little cool looking box bot. Oh, there you go. Ta-da. Yeah, when GW sued Chapter House back in the, I want to say early aughts, but I know I'm wrong because I'm an old man. I remember when that happened. And again, I forgot what color I was doing on this. See what happens when I start drinking, I swear to God. I believe it's in court now. Good. We can see what will happen. Oh, that's what I'm doing. We can see what happens with that. But, like with Chapter House, GW kind of went off the rails with the lawsuits on Chapter House. Just in I mean, trying to copyright the concept of pauldrons and trying to copyright the word space marine. And I love that they tried to copyright the design of a las gun, but they found the U.S. Army footage of a U.S. Army ray gun that had the exact same look from the '60s, and you know, even though Chapter House is no longer around, they still won like 80% of those lawsuits. So I'm hoping with the Gamic thing, that's not what we get. Is that Gamic will win on 80% of the lawsuit, but still end up having to go under. Just because, legal stuff is expensive. And GW has an awful lot of lawyers. I mean, if I had to justify why I was on a retainer, I'd sue somebody over the word Space Marine too. Okay. I don't know why it was so hard for me to find that. Just find those colors to use. Okay, nuclear green. So this guy's got his cape on, so we're not going to see his reactor. This guy does not. Ta-da, reactor. Let's do this. Ta-da! Another Army Painter paint. Data system glue. The gold with the red cape looks good. Okay. Yeah, we're going to knock that down a little bit. Oh, I'm missing a piece here. Oh, she glowing a bit. Starblaze was beaten by a decade with Space Marine. Yep. Good night and all. Thank you for the stream. Yep. See you later. Stalemate. Catch you next time. Same boss time. Same boss channel. So I got all my stuff set up for Adepticon in a couple months. And then, as far as I know, right now, Uncle C is going to be going as well. He hasn't signed up for anything yet, even though I'm telling him, things run out quick. We'll have to see what is available when he decides to get his ticket. Ta-da. That's the same green I use for my 6mm Russian light infantry. It really pops at the small scale. Yeah, OSL effects. Yeah, that's usually what it's used for here. I think I used it on some ghosts. Freaking Windows screwing with us using version 10. I keep getting those pop-ups. Upgrade to Windows 11. No. My computer asked me once a month or once a week. I wonder how many times I got to tell it no before it actually listens to me. Ta-da. All right. And then we're going to take a little bit of marine juice. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully Uncle C will be able to take part in like the Titan fights and the tournament we got going on, because I'm going to be working the event. I can't play in them, so he's going to be my proxy. Microsoft, you're not allowed to use keystroke tracking on my computer, Windows 11. So I've got some stuff I'm working on over here for the Titan fight. I'm still going to bring it with me, even if he doesn't take part in it. I might have to find somebody and make them my champion. You shall march forth in my name. Take this Titan. But I'm gonna have to ask somebody there. Like, have you guys thought about putting a points limit on the Titan? Because I can make some horrendous bleh using some of the the Titan Lord stuff. Especially when we're just fighting other Titans. It's ridiculous. Tank here too. There we go. So that means I gotta do your tank too. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. There we go. And then we do this guy's face. There we go. All right. I think that will do it. We have ourselves 3 Deathwalkers, along with the Deathwalker champion. They're going to have, what's it called, quick shot. So they're going to be able to move 12 inches in a turn and fire off all their heavy flamers and stuff. This shall be an interesting squad to see on the board. Oh, so it's that wonderful time of night where I tell you about our sponsors. You know, right now, it's just PrintedStarships.com. PrintedStarships.com, my oldest sponsor. Go check them out. PrintedStarships.com for all of your Starfleet needs, all of your sci-fi fleet needs. And he says he's working on getting Station Forge on there pretty soon. Code warbossfitz, get you 15% off. And yeah, that is going to do it for me tonight, guys. I hope you all had fun watching. I had fun painting, and I hope you are having fun playing OPR wherever you are. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.